I'm going to be making tabbouleh for you while you watch. So there's seeded tomatoes here, parsley, quinoa, mint, lemon juice on some cucumber, and both garlic chives and onion chives. And James is going to talk about that while I'm doing it. And he's drinking a smoothie. And I'm just going to put this down actually. I don't think I need it that high. So you can go ahead and start talking about whatever you want because...
Well, you want to talk about what's in the smoothie first?
No, not really. It's just the same thing.
Oh, no, that's a different one, isn't it?
Well, not really.
Or is it from yesterday?
It's the same as yesterday.
Oh, okay. So this is where I left off yesterday, speaking of yesterday. Webster's New World Pocket Geographical Dictionary, published, it seems like, maybe in the early 70s or something like that. Well, early enough, 1974. I just got to make sure I got that right. Oh, 1994. The 9 that I put in there.
He just has a little salad from yesterday left on this plate, but it'll be just fine.
Along with some popcorn acting as
yeah,
croutons.
A
lot better than croutons, folks. That was my idea, but I'm not that loyal to my ideas that I'd say fantastic if it weren't fantastic.
Maybe I will leave
it's
it
just
in
awesome.
That way.
Like, you kind of were skeptical at first for a couple of seconds, then you thought, no, that you got a mosquito or an ant on your left wrist.
Oh, it is a mosquito. Look at that. Right. So, I'll put the pretty tomatoes on James's plate, I guess.
Anyway, 1994, not on very good paper. It kind of looks like Russian toilet paper, stuff like that. But I guess this sort of stuff is supposed to be more biodegradable.
Probably put more tomatoes on this stuff.
Anyway, how many? I think there are 6,600 places. Let me see, I approximated it. 65, 45, so I overestimated by 55 or something like that. That's an approximate figure. But, yeah, there's some pretty good stuff in here. I get about 80% of the things in here, and that's maybe a little bit of an underestimate. So, what I mean by get, I'll go, oh, here's Namakwa land. So it's a region in southwest Africa divided by the Orange River and the Great Namakwa land. Never been there, but I've kind of been by it. Okay? So, yeah, I was saying Hempstead. Funny, I've actually stayed there. I didn't live there, but I stayed there for a couple of weeks. So, Hampton Roads, that's got to be in Virginia. Let's just see what they say. The state of Virginia. And it's kind of the southeastern part of it. Channel and Harbor in southeast Virginia. See how that linking the James River estuary with Chesapeake Bay. So it's very important. Hampton Roads, that kind of area, is very important for the American Navy. I suspect it's by far the biggest naval center for the United States on the Atlantic. On the Pacific, it's probably San Diego, although they might have a fair San Francisco Bay probably has some sort of naval stuff, and maybe the area around Seattle, because Lord only knows, like they might have to invade Canada, Donald Trump and company, in order to make Canada 51st state. And Donald Trump, the way he was talking about it, he was saying, oh, you'll love it. It'll be like, don't stop. And eventually Canadians will be saying, don't stop. Yeah, right.
Okay, so try your salad and let me know what you think.
Okay, so you got
because I can put more of different things in if you are still finding that it's not flavorful enough or something like that. So you'll want to mix it up a bit because I didn't mix it.
No, I gotta admit, I'm not a huge fan of quinoa. Quinoa, that's how you pronounce it.
Quinoa,
But
yeah.
quinoa. But yeah, it's probably Spanish. Anyway, if you mix it with enough things, I don't notice how bland it is.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about tabbouleh. It's a parsley salad. As you can see, it's mostly parsley. And I'll be putting the stuff, the rest, like the mint and the chives into here, and then I can mix it up.
Yeah, it tastes nice and fresh. I think that's mainly the mint taste.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, I'm
Sure,
glad you like it.
Quite healthy.
And normally you also put extra virgin olive oil in the salad, but honestly, I don't find that it needs it. Why put the fat in if it doesn't need it? So I don't. And normally you put bulgur wheat instead of quinoa, but why not use quinoa?
Yeah.
People eat way too much wheat in their diet. So most people. So try it with quinoa. It's better. Not just as good, it's better.
Okay.
So,
Where does it come from, do you know?
quinoa? I think it comes from South America, yeah. It's one of those awesome things from South America. So, I mean, people were civilized down there for a long time.
They were. So,
Yeah.
what does civilized mean when Pauline talks about it that way? When I talk about it, it means they lived in cities. Yeah? There's not necessarily a judgment attached to that.
No.
The way it is with so many people. I did make a mistake.
Huh.
Popcorn as croutons doesn't work as leftovers, right? Because the popcorn
It gets soggy.
So,
Yeah. Well, so would croutons.
so would croutons. So would, you know, you've tried chips, right? Salads instead of croutons, way better, way tastier.
Well, we've tried all sorts of things now instead of croutons, and
Nachos.
honestly,
Tried nachos.
pretty near everything we've
Everything,
tried
yeah.
has been better than croutons.
Well, even one time I think I tried bread crust that had been left over.
Yeah, and that could have been.
The only thing that could have made them worse than croutons is if they'd started to go mold. Way better than croutons. You just take regular toast, split it up. Could actually make it semi-healthy if you went with whole wheat bread toast.
So, yeah.
So don't waste money on croutons. The only one thing that could be worse, and that's Melba toast.
I asked my angels for this parsley. I was going to show you, James wanted to have the dinner in this yard rather than the backyard. I was going to show you what's usually our parsley patch. I was going to make it a greens patch this year with other tasty greens, and they did come up, surprisingly, and they're managing to try to outcompete the tomatoes, it's a tomato jungle back there. But I haven't seen the parsley in there where it's normally, like, I make sure that I leave some. Parsley is a biennial, but it'll act like a perennial for you in your garden, because you just have to make sure that you don't take everything off in the fall. You don't want to harvest everything, and you want to leave the roots to come back, because they'll come back from the roots, right? So then they come back, and then they seed, and then you always have parsley in the garden if you put it in. If you want to keep it in, I mean, you can take it out and you wouldn't have it. But it's wonderful having parsley in the garden. So normally we would have lots, and I had to ask my angels for some because I didn't see it there. I wanted to make tabbouleh because I have all these tomatoes, which tabbouleh really doesn't call for a lot of tomatoes. It calls for a lot of parsley. And I'm going to put more mint in too than normally because I harvested a little more mint. But it's delicious in tabbouleh, so that's great. And mint, another one. You put it in, it's there forever unless you take it out. It just keeps coming back and coming back. But mint is a perennial, whereas parsley is a biennial. So,
funny thing about herbs, if they are anything near coded for the particular climatic zone.
Yeah.
They are really durable. They're really hardy.
Mhm.
Herbs, hardy.
Yep. And that's the thing, is not all mint is zoned for here. You think, oh, mint's so tough. Well, you get different kinds of mint, like pineapple mint, for example, and it's not going to come back for you, although it's so beautiful. And it smells like pineapple. It's wonderful. And all the different kinds of mint, like this is spearmint, and it's very versatile. Peppermint's not as versatile, but and I have ginger mint in my garden, and it's not as versatile, but it's lovely. It's a wonderful mint. And so for things that I use it for, it's awesome. And I didn't chop up the parsley like this. I use the food processor. And normally I would just stick the mint in the food processor too, but since I'm over here, James having dinner.
And presumably I'll start flapping my gums.
Yeah.
But you do like mint taste, right?
Oh, I love it.
So
whereas James doesn't so much.
Well, see, that's like on sweets, like mint chocolate.
Yeah.
It's got chocolate on it. I like it.
Okay.
But the funny thing is about mint on salads, it's I like it pretty much. A whole lot
delicious.
Better than I do on sweets. Whereas you'll like it pretty well.
Yeah.
What it does, it just tastes like fresh air. Or something like that.
It's just
very
such
fresh.
a nice fresh flavor for a salad. It's wonderful. And
invigorating.
Basically it's free. You put it in the garden and you have it forever and ever. It's just it's a gift. It's a wonderful gift.
You just got to treat it
gardener.
right. You're saying you don't.
Well, you just
over-harvest it.
Well, no, with mint you can do whatever you want. It's going to come back from the roots.
Amazing.
Like one year, I decided I had weeds in my garden. I was tired of it, and it's like chives. You have your chives in the garden, and then you get a bunch of grass in it, and you're like, I can't stand this. And what do you do, right? Mm-hmm. It's so tough. So do you dig it all up and plant it again, or what?
That's what I do if it's the wrong type of grass.
Yeah.
I mean, quack grass or something.
It can be so frustrating when you get. I've talked to other gardeners, and they say the same thing. They don't care about this weed or that weed or whatever. It's just common lawn grass. That's the worst weed for gardeners, because it ends up in the garden. It's hard to keep it out. It's what a pain. But anyway, so you end up with grass in your chives, and you're very frustrated. But anyway, I had weeds in with my mint, and again, what do? You're so frustrated. You're like, oh, what do I do with this? So I decided, that's it. I'm going to put landscape fabric over it, and the 5-year stuff, and I'll plant some other place, whatever. I don't care anymore. And which I kind of felt bad about it too, because I had that mint for decades in my garden. I'd planted it right when I moved in, and I didn't want to get rid of it, but then I was very frustrated with the creeping bellflower. What annoying weed. So 5 years pass, the landscape fabric breaks down, the creeping bellflower is no longer a problem. What comes back? Ginger mint. It pops up. It had been laying under the fabric for 5 years until the fabric broke down, and then it decided, oh, here I can live again. Crazy stuff, mint. So I'm not recommending that you do that you try that at home, because I thought it was gone for good. When I did that, I'd given up. I was just like, that's it. I don't want to deal with this creeping bellflower anymore, and I covered it up. Now I have mint.
It's almost like a resurrection.
Yes, it was wonderful. So yeah, Tabbouleh's like a fresh herb garden salad. It's just perfect for eating this time of year. Nice shady kind of overcast day. It's wonderful for a change.
Where does Tabbouleh come from? Is that like
Middle East, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, normally you wouldn't put chives in it. Like I have lots of garlic chives and onion chives here that I planted. And I was looking at the one of the onion chives plants that was just full of grass, and I was thinking, oh, what am I gonna do with this, right? So harvested some of that. And normally you'd put some onion and some garlic into tabbouleh, but I thought, why not try onion chives and garlic chives? I have them, and frankly they're better than onion garlic, although I love garlic. But what do you think? What's your verdict on this? The onion chives and garlic chives work?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there you
I
go.
basically taste the mint, but one of my things I feel about herbs, or some people say herbs, like herb Alpert, great. No, it's herb Alpert. Anyway, I'm just thinking. I think it's a good idea to mix and match sort of stuff. It's healthier
You can mix
that
it
way,
all
right?
in here. Yeah.
You get, stuff from different soils. So I do believe in getting as much local stuff as you can, growing your own. But the thing to understand is soils will have deficiencies, and so it's probably good to do at least a little mixing and matching with stuff from elsewhere. So you might end up with a copper deficiency in your native soil or whatever. So you don't want to overdo that sort of stuff unless you're taking some supplement.
Yeah.
If we really had a good healthcare system, people could check for nutrient deficiencies.
Yeah.
I suppose you could, but I think it would cost to get.
I think I'm going to put this whole thing in here. Really, you shouldn't put that much bulgur in your salad. It's mostly mint in the salad. And it's a funny thing, you know, I was thinking about it, how, like, the different subsidies and stuff like that the governments do and they give out to farmers. And parsley is just loaded full of calcium. There's so much calcium in parsley. And yet the government subsidizing the dairy industry to supply calcium needs to the public, right?
And the trouble is, people have problems with milk products.
That's it.
Lactic
you know, there's a
intolerance.
lot of people with lactose intolerance.
Lactose intolerance,
And but is
There are other
there anybody
problems,
with parsley intolerance? And tabbouleh is an awesome salad. It's so tasty. And plus, it's funny. When I was studying agriculture in university, one of my economics instructors was talking about the subsidies and how to get rid of them. He was saying, well, the government should buy out, because, okay, I have to unpack this a little further. So what happened is there's only so many people allowed to be dairy farmers in Canada. They only let so many people be dairy farmers. And then they, because there were the ones that were allowed to be dairy farmers, this became a very valuable thing to be allowed to be a dairy farmer, because not everyone could do it. So if you were allowed to do it, then that all of a sudden became marketable. The fact that you could do it, to transfer it, right, to other. So, but then what happens? So you transfer it, you have farmers transferring this right to be a dairy farmer to other farmers. And then if the government doesn't want to, if they want to scrap this whole program kind of thing.
The subsidies?
Yeah, then what do you do? Because some people have paid, like, this right has been transferred so many times to so many different people, and these people who've had it transferred to them, they've paid to have it transferred to them, right? So they've paid people who have the right, which that never should have been allowed, but it happened. So what do you do now? So my instructor was saying, well, the government's going to have to buy people out from having this right to be a dairy farmer, right? So that then it can be a free market. Well, why? They made loads and loads of money. They've had like a protection so that they could. Why should the government have to? That's the public. Why should the public have to pay?
Twice.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. But what do you do?
Well, this guy was a right-winger, right?
Yeah.
I know which person she's talking about.
So anyway, that's the salad.
Believes in the free market.
I'm not going to mix it up. It looks pretty just like this. So I guess I should show it to you. But I've put the prettier stuff underneath, like the chopped up chives and mint and stuff like that. So, but that's what it ended up looking like, with a little bit of popcorn in it.
Yeah. And a little bit of corn.
Yep. So anyway, you have about 8 minutes.
Okay. So as I was saying, you pocket geographical dictionary. You want to flap your gums about this, that, and other thing, politics nowadays, history,
Oh, I got water
religions.
all over this.
You'd better know about geography. No, this isn't the limit. Like something like 4,500 or 5,000 geographical term. There are certain places in the world where I've lived, or where I have some sort of closeness to, like Canada, even North America, even the United States, where I probably know at least list off 1,000 place names in Alberta, probably at least that for Canada. United States, way more than that actually. There are way more place names in the United States. So get on the stick if you want to, if you want to argue with me about this, that, and the other thing. Like I say, politics, if you want to argue history, if you want to argue religious studies, you'd better, culture generally, sociology, anthropology, you'd better start learning some geography, because most of you folks out there that want to kind of like get into a verbal tussle with me, if I have no clue about pretty well anything. Get on the stick, geography's easy, and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Like I'd actually like to try my wits against a geography professor. That would include historical geography and like ancient history and stuff like that. I'm not saying they'd have trouble with me, but I don't think I'd have trouble with them when it comes to geography. Way back when in university undergrad stuff, I was an undeclared geography major for quite a while and stuff like that. But I'm saying my knowledge of geography is well past undergrad level, even though I never got a degree in it. And like I say, my main specialty would be something like historical geography. Place names change, so on and so forth. So, speaking of geography, we're going to look at the geography of the United States and American literature, at least central United States. This is kind of like Mississippi. I think this must be a scene from the Mississippi River, maybe somewhere around where Mark Twain, otherwise known as Samuel Langhorne Clemens, something like that, came from. So he eventually settled for a while, at least in Connecticut, hence a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's court. But I think he hailed from. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Anyway, that won't last long. I think it got kind of stuck on.
Yeah, no, I put it there so that it can flow.
Anyway, it was a little surprise. I thought we were getting attacked from behind by someone wielding like a fire hose or something like that. Anyway, You never can tell what's going to happen in this neighborhood. That's not necessarily the homeless people. It might be one or two homeless people around here. But from the vast majority are very nice people in this neighborhood. But, in every neighborhood there's always one or two ne'er-do-wells. Maybe there's at least one around here. Anyway, Mark Twain hailed from Hannibal, and I think that's in Missouri. The code name for Hannibal in these two novels is something point. What is it called? There's a map here. Hannibal, St. Petersburg. So it did start with a P. It has a P in Petersburg, St. Petersburg. It came up with that word name. Anyway, I read these as a kid. Probably when I was in Africa between ages, might have been actually younger than that. Maybe when I was in Regina, when I was in, I think so. So from age 5 to 8. Pretty sure actually, right in Regina. 5 to 8, both of these. And I enjoyed both of them. Rereading them now in my second childhood, get it straight. There are folks who disagree with me. They're probably going around bad-mouthing me, saying I'm in my second childhood. Don't go that route. I'm still pretty sharp, okay? So when I take courses at university, I'm usually number one in the class. Yeah, that's undergrad stuff, but what the heck? Definitely not senile. Get that straight. Yeah, I much prefer Huckleberry Finn. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about this possibly if I end up getting a book at not a yard sale, but at a half-price sale at a second-hand store. We didn't get it the last time. We go once in a while to this place for their second-hand sale, for their half-price sale. And it had something in there about how Huckleberry Finn, and this goes back maybe even to the 70s, has been kind of verboten, which is forbidden in German. I mispronounced it, of course, but what the heck, try. How it's been kind of, witch hunted out of being taught in American schools, North American schools. Who knows, maybe elsewhere as well. It's absolutely shameful. Yeah, the N-word is used in it, even by the title character, I guess, hero, one of the heroes. But some people say, or I guess many people say, the African American in Huckleberry Finn, Jim, he's called. Don't know if he was given a last name named after his owner or something like that. He's like an escaped slave or something. They say he's portrayed as a comic figure. Well, no, he's kind of like, he's got his superstitions and stuff like that. He talks in a dialect and stuff like that, whereas Huck Finn, his dialect is a lot less emphasized, stuff like that. So instead of seeing, Huck Finn says see. I see him coming down the street. Instead of I saw him coming down the street, or as many people say here, I seen him coming down the street. He says I see him coming down the street. But generally, his accent is